that part right there, that is no bueno. All of that is no bueno. I don't even know if I like where it's at. It's gonna stay that way. It's gonna stay that way. Let me see. It's gonna stay. Water and tea, y'all. Water and tea. Nice chili water. Cause when I be riding this joker, I like to keep one in the freezer anyway. But when I be riding this joker trying to get ready, especially after I put all of this art on my face, woo, gets a little hot. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. That nine. That that nine. That nine. That nine right there. That nine. All right. All right. All right. Day number two. Welcome, 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 you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sylvie414, and I is Sylvie, your rough edge lady, just coming to bring some of that 414, that one in the middle, for just a little bit of balance. If you can see, she is learning how to put this right hand into play because she got double whammies going on over here. Like, I don't even have my setup like I want to because you can't see everything, and I like for you to be able to see everything or mostly everything, but you just can't. Um, but yeah, I had to make sure that I have my small cup of tea because my large mug, no bueno. Because y'all heard me say I got double whammy, right? This peppermint tea, I don't even have it souped up. It's just some honey in there. I have a double whammy because now there's a muscle spasm going from here to the same place in my back. When I say the muscle spasm is going all the way through my chest. I have not had a muscle spasm in umpteen years. That many. And now I'm spasming about the muscles. And the peoples don't know why. Y'all heard me say my face is art. Art that if you have been on this live before, welcome. Oh, I know what's going on. Let me see if I know what's going on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe. I am trying to get to a place where I can see the comments because when I went to when I went to end my live last night, somebody was on the live and they were trying to tell me, um, "You're live. We can't hear you. We can't hear you." I didn't know that until the end. I did say at the beginning of the live that that I couldn't see the comments because I didn't have this charger, and every charger I get something always goes on, but I haven't done anything to this charger, but it's doing weird things and weird stuff. Um, so I tried all day yesterday to connect this charger and to connect this phone by way of this charger, and when I say it wasn't happening, it was not happening. So I said, okay, let me see if the people's just bring the charger in here and plug it up in here, if that will work. And so that worked. So when I say that I'm trying to get to a place where I can see the live, because like I don't know how to. Let me see. I don't know how to find live. I don't know how to. Oh, okay. Let me see if I tap that. Yeah. Okay. Why my podcast look Jamaican? Why my bad? What in the Jamaican podcast is going on here? Sylvie414 is going on here. That's what's going on here. I hope y'all have had a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope y'all, well, shoot, because Justin just threw me off. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful week thus far. We are 2 days into the week. I've been off, y'all. I've been off. The people ain't been working. The people don't go back to work till Friday. I have been off since last Thursday. And so I've just been around here getting things done, trying to get this computer set up and everything like that so that I don't got to be way over there, because that's what they said. They was like, hello, everybody. They was like, she way over there. But I'm cutting that video up from last night, so the sound was there. So I'm going to assume, because I be watching podcasts too, I wish I could read, I wish I knew what that said, but it's nice to know that I got somebody in here that can speak another language. So hello and welcome. But I don't know what your comment says. But I could hear it when I was cutting it up. I know when I'm on a podcast and everybody is not saying that they can't hear, normally the podcaster is going to tell them to go out and come back in again, and that might work. Because when I say I went through the whole video, and the video did not come up at the video. Wow. Y'all, we got Brazil. I have to shout out. We got Brazil in the house, y'all. We got Brazil. So is that maybe, is that French then? Maybe that's French. I appreciate you being in the house. But yes, the video was videoing. The talk was talking last night. And I appreciate everybody. Look, I watch my milestones, because the Most High told me don't be just looking at likes and views, and I'm just gonna be honest and say you can't help but look at it, especially if you're looking at your statistics. You can't help but look at it. But I believe that what God is saying to me is don't get lost in your likes and views. But I do try to notice my milestones. I'm thanking YouTube, because I have said from the beginning, YouTube is not the easiest platform to build. So I am 2 subscribers away from 300, and I give all my credit up from 1 to 100. Most of my credit from 1 to 100 to Michi X and Night and Day guys, but everything after 100, that's me and y'all. That's just me and y'all. That's me and y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, some people do invite Satan into their life. So if that's your choice, baby, have at it. I can't, look, what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep on talking like V-God told me to. I'm going to keep on talking, because you welcome here too. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you thought I was going to say. Get off my platform, because you welcome Satan into your life. I cannot. God told me leave with love. Leave with love. And that is nice to know as well. But anywho, and away we go. They said they was very rich. They said they was very rich. How did I get to him and leave me? Let's get back to me, because I don't know what just happened, because sometimes things and stuff happen when I be trying to do things and stuff. But y'all know I talked about art when I first came in. So last week, I saw 2 posts on Facebook speaking about nail polish on men, and how do you feel about it. Now, when I saw the first post, well, both of the posts led me to believe that they were not talking about men from the LGBT community. Although there are always probably going to be those that God loves Satan. God just don't love what Satan do, baby. God don't love what I do when it ain't what God wants me to do. So what's not gonna happen is distractions. That's what's not gonna happen. And what's not gonna happen either is I'm not gonna not look down at my comments, because the goal with me is to be able to try to engage. So if I have my comments here and I can take a look at them, but what I'm not going to engage in is someone that is going to attempt to be trying to distract me. So if that's what you're trying to do, you must know, baby, that Sylvia is learning how to get all the distractions out of the way. So if I have to do it by way of the comments too, trust and believe I can work that out. I can work that out. Now, back to the snail polish. So the first post that I had seen was like, and sometimes I'm not going to be able, because if I get into it and I'm moving like that, I might can't look at your comments until I finish. But other than that, I'm going to try to be holding the phone so I can, I'm trying to learn and grow and be better is all. That's all. So the first comment was like, it got to be something new. So I like, when I'm going to go in and comment on a post, I first go through the comments and see if anybody is feeling the way. I'm going to comment anyway. But just see if anybody is feeling the way that I'm feeling. If they are, I might go, you thinking exactly. You took the thought right out of my head. Something to that effect. And then I'll go on and place my own separate comment. So I read some of the comments. And she made sure, the first person made sure to let the people know, don't be rude on this post. So I can appreciate that. Although you can't control people's fingers. You can't, if they're gonna be rude, they're gonna be rude. All you can do is block them. Look, I'm trying to follow and shout out to Tasha K's lead. I'm trying to follow in Tasha K lead and not have to block anybody. I'm trying to allow the Most High to lead me and guide me as to when I can just let mess be mess and let it walk on by. If I need to address it and how I need to address it. But my goal is to be able to engage at all times as I grow, because I am out here right now commending. When I go on a post and I comment and I see that person got a large following or a large amount of subscribers, I always let them know I appreciate that y'all engage with your subscribers and your followers, because it's not easy to do. It ain't easy to do for the little gal. I'm but the little gal. And it's not always easy to do for me. I don't even know what the Sonny Holiday said. I know the F you did not say that's it. The cross, cause what the hell is wrong with you? Oh, you were talking to Mantis Shrimp? Look, y'all, can we all, look, I'm a Rodney King on y'all. Can we all get along over here at Sylvie's? And I have no problem with you saying what you would, but can we, it ain't even disrespectful, so you know what, I'm gonna let y'all do what you do. I'm gonna let it do what it do, and I'm gonna just keep on moving, don't stop, no, keep on moving. Keep on moving, don't stop, no. I don't own the rights to any of the music you may hear me break out and sing. None of it. I might hit a bar or two. But my comment was just what my comment was to Mantis Shrimp. God told me to lead with love. First I said adults are going to do what adults are going to do. Adults are going to do what adults are going to do. God told me to lead with love. But one thing for sure, and two things for certain, it does not mean that you LGBT, because I grew up, and that's where I went in my comment too, because that's where I had to go on my second comment, because somebody came on the second post was a larger platform. Well, the first post, she's a large platform, but she's my friend. The second post was probably somebody that I followed. So she was like, so I was like, I used to work with someone. My oldest daughter is going to be 32 this year. And when she was in pre-K, I worked with a young man, and I love Wade with everything in me. And Wade was LGBTQ. The two men that I'm telling you about, they are LGBTQ, but the one, we worked together too later on in life, and we're now Facebook friends. He just started polishing his nails, to my knowledge, since we've been Facebook friends this time. And we worked together back in 2015, so we've been knowing each other. And I'm talking about, we bump into each other, we see each other in the street. It's all love, even now today. But they polished their nails. But I think that they were speaking about heterosexual men, because Drake was in the picture, and I know allegedly people, are going to debate whether he's heterosexual or not. But if Drake ain't came out and told y'all that he's not heterosexual, then if you're not in his bed at no time, then you do not know what be going on in Drake's bed. You just know what all of the allegations are out here in these streets of the social medias. Period. But rockers always kiss, all of them. Those men wore nail polish back then when I was a little girl, and your girl is 50. To each his own. But when it's to each his own, we have to understand, to each his own. Mantis Shrimp has a right to come on my platform and say, I love Satan. I have a right. If I go on a platform, if your title draws me in, or your picture draws me in, or something draws me in, and I go on your platform and I don't like what I see, I got a right. Finna call out Tasha K again. She gonna tell you, you don't gotta put a thumbs up on it, put a thumbs down on it, because that's still interaction. When you cussing somebody out because you don't like what they said on your post, every time feels like trauma first and foremost. Stress waiting to happen, because you're gonna be doing that all the time. But most of all, you are being overwhelmed by your emotions. And you should not want to be overwhelmed by your emotions. That's no bueno. AJS. AJS. Now, but yes, that's my opinion about the nail polish. Everybody is going to have their own opinion. It's some people, and that's going to be men and women. It's not just men. It's going to be men and women that is going to be disgusted by the fact that they see somebody with nail polish on, and in their viewpoint, that person is never going to be able to be heterosexual. I don't care what that person say out of their mouth. In that group of people's eyes, they are never going to be homosexual, and they're going to be sinning. Because the young man said, when he said that rockers used to do it, and I told him that's what I said, he said it's a form of art. I said, you mean kind of like a tattoo? He said, yes. That's why I brought art up with my face. Makeup is a form of art. Now, are there people out there that wear makeup because they don't feel like they're beautiful without it? All day, every day. Every day, all day. But there are those of us who have to go back and forth with the God, because the God said aesthetics. Aesthetics means beauty. When you look aesthetically pleasing, even though the girl told me that I was ugly the other day. Yes, she did. But God said the aesthetics is going to draw them in. The aesthetics is going you heard what that first comment said. What in the Jamaican podcast is going on here? I thank you for being here with me in the Jamaican podcast. Is going on here. You got some homegrown. Y'all know nothing about that homegrown. Well, let's talk some. I'm talking squares to you, baby. Squares. I'm talking love. That is. I'm talking squares. It's some homegrown. And that's that Tina. Everything she got, she do it from home. Tasha K said, you can't have no podcast in your room. I say, you can. I say you can. God says, God said it for me. God said I can do all things through the Christ that gives me strength. God said, with man it is impossible. With God, all things are possible. I'm podcasting right here in my room. And as I move along, things will get better. I will noise-proof my room. You know, I got some homegrown. And when I'm able to do better, I do better. But right now, I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm going to do what I was sent here to do. Now, on we go. On and on and on and on. Cipher keeps moving like a rolling stone. On and on and on and on. Where? How I lose my page? Oh, right there, right there, right there. I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to get right here. Okay. So, first off, first thing we is gonna talk about, and this is really, really, really old. But the reason I wasn't even gonna talk about it because it's really, really old. But evergreen content does not really get old. And when I go into my stats and I'm trying to learn how to do this better, it tells me that I'm supposed to be searching for evergreen content. And while the Most High told me not to make it a blacks thing, that's like saying women do things of all colors. So don't make it a black thing. But sometimes we're going to talk about specific women. We're going to talk about black women. We're going to talk about white women. We're going to talk about Asian women. We're going to talk about Latino women. We're going to talk about women. Now, so, Lovely T and Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur both spoke about a statement that was made by Saucy Santana. We have a tendency to kill the messenger. We don't care if it's true. We just want to hear the truth from a packaging that looks like a place where we want to hear the truth from. So nobody wants to hear Saucy Santana tell black women that they're too masculine. Go figure. But in my Willie D voice, truth don't care who tell it. Truth don't care who tell it. And the women that don't want to hear it, and I'm not going to say that there are not any other women from any other nationalities out there that don't walk too much in their masculinity, because Anema does not name a color, and it will be Anemus for us ladies. Anemus does not name a color. It is your unconscious, the unconscious masculine part of a woman and the unconscious feminine part of a man, that of which those two sexes really don't like to, when they in it, they in it. And most of the time it's that masculinity that don't like to let go of itself, whether it be a man or a woman. And you if you're on social media, you can go and plug in black women and masculinity, and you're gonna hear black women tell you reasonings as to why we walk heavily in our masculinity. But if the God is saying soften, modesty says soften, humility says soften, then when you deny it, when you deny it and you are adamant that I ain't changing and ain't nothing wrong with it, because I don't have to go into the specifics of what he said, because the statement was not a false statement. If it was a false statement, we wouldn't have a reason for Anema and Anemas. We have a masculine and a feminine side, and we are supposed to know them both. I spoke last night about the little scene from Law and Order, where the professor asked the young man about Jung's shadow theory. And he said the least that you know about it, the more dangerous it is. The less that it is embodied is what he said. The less that it is embodied, the more dangerous it is. You want to get to know yourself. Your shadow is yourself. You want to get to know yourself. But people say that till they blue in the face, and then somebody ain't trying to know themselves. They ain't trying to know themselves. But that, just because you don't want to know yourself does not mean it's true. Excuse me, it's not true. Now, the reason that I'm talking about it, because I be thinking I be smart sometimes. Although that I love, one thing for sure and two things for certain, I promise you, I say often of people, of God, excuse me, of people that God sends my way in right on time moments. I thank God that God puts the smart people around me, because sometimes I need the smart people around me, even though I'm intelligent. Sometimes I need somebody smart around me. You know. So I'm watching Marriage Boot Camp because I be watching Marriage Boot Camp now. I never thought about watching um, Marriage Boot Camp Family Edition, I think it's called. A piece of my makeup brushes. I need to clean my makeup brushes or something. Like I told, I'm not really into this makeup thing. I didn't finish that thought. I'm not really into this makeup thing. So putting this art on my face is a challenge. But there is a piece of makeup brush on me, and it's really irritating me. Why? Oh, there it go. I found it because it felt like a spider web. Nobody wants a spider web just sitting on their face. Um, but so I'm watching Marriage Boot Camp, and this is their reruns. They're old and everything like that. So Ocho Cinco and his mom, they're on there. They were on the last season. And one thing for sure, and two things for certain, that woman won't no joke. All I said was, whoa, buddy, that what he had to grow up in. Now, mind you, he had just told Corey Feldman the season that I watched prior to last night. He just told Corey Feldman, and these are true statements. We might not want to hear it, especially if our childhood was horrible, you know, in our eyes. We don't want to hear some things sometimes, but he told Corey Feldman, if your mother would have loved you the way that you wanted your mother to love you, it's possible you wouldn't be Corey Feldman. You'd have never been Corey Feldman. We gonna talk about it. It's in here like Prego. We gonna talk about it. It's in here. You'd have never been Corey Feldman. Ocho Cinco, the show that they was on was something about the ultimate coach. I think that was the name of the show. Welcome, 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 you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I'd love it if you do. It was, so I guess that was the show him and his mom was on, but that one more no joke, and I can only imagine this is probably a softer her, because after we get accomplished what we need to accomplish with the babies, sometimes we soften, but if there was a harder her, which there probably was, because I watched the softer Bernice. That's my grandmother, and some people didn't see the softness, but I saw the softer side of my grandmother because I know what it was like for me as a child. But knowing that, I always say I can only imagine what it was like for my mom and her siblings living in Bernice's house, because Bernice wasn't no joke. Bernice wasn't no joke, buddy. And Ocho Cinco, Bernice, I'm about to say Bernice, ain't have nothing on Paula. Paula was trying to run that shit. The whole house. But look at God, because look, y'all might not call things God like I call things God sometimes, but God, the way that God got to move to get the things done that it would have done in this world ain't always going to look good to us. It ain't always going to feel good to us. But God is if Paula was the ultimate coach, God is the ultimate parent. Knows what's best every time. Every time. He didn't make Paula that way, but he allowed her to be that way. And did Ocho Cinco got have a lot of problems from being raised by Paula? He was an adult. But they gonna tell you all the way through these stories, and people could get it in their head if they want to. You don't have to get it in their head. The people that don't want to get it in their head, they probably more affected from their childhood than they would like to admit. Because the young lady that lit into her said, what goes on in your childhood she was gonna say can stem into your adulthood. But her mama finished that statement, said it could be with you for life. For life! You could leave this earth with that trauma, because it be real. And I had to talk to somebody today and let them know, because they said, Farrah, look, he said, you can have good parents. You can have good parents. And you're still, because he talked about how Farrah was a mess. Farrah is who checked Paula. Farrah cousin said that she was one of the first teen moms. I never watched Teen Mom because it totally blew my mind that you made a show I was never for that. I was never for that. And I don't care. Some things you can know is happening and you don't have to profit off of it. I was never for you having a show profiting that these babies is out here struggling like that. And some of them babies ain't no longer here. Like some of them babies is gone. I think multiple of them are no longer here. So, but Farrah laid in the hurt. They went at it so bad, and I'm getting ready to tell this story just like it was told. They went into it. They got into it so bad that by the time it was all said and done, Farrah called her. Um, it sounded racial. She called her black something something something. It sounded racial, and Kendra was in there, and Kendra is married to the black baseball player, so she got black babies and all that stuff like that. I ain't watched none of. I don't remember Farrah at all, but I do remember Kendra, even though I didn't watch her. Maybe my babies watched her, but Farrah broke it down and said that she wasn't being. She said if I were being racial, it was to her only, and I said that. I said it before Farrah said it, and then Ocho Cinco came in and said it himself. I said it before anybody said. I said, God, one thing for sure and two things for certain, Lord. That baby was only talking to Paula. I promise you she won't talking to no other black person on this earth. I said she wanted to give as good as she was getting because Paula won't no joke. She was trying to run the whole masculinity. When she, cause the situation from Jersey Shore and his brothers was there because they had that show. So they were there. And she related to the brother that was just the macho one. She related to that. And when she made the statement about it, I said, yeah, because you him. You him. You was walking in walls of that masculinity, walls of that masculinity. And it does not mean a woman is not heterosexual. Has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with that. She had a little breaking moment. I told cousin, cause when she cried, it made the whole thing. Even me, I ain't cried on something in a long time, and I've been known to be a water bucket. I ain't cried on nothing in a long time. But when they brought them children, them up there, they pretended like they was the child version of them and heard them talk. Broke the whole house down when that thing cried. But even with that cry, that didn't mean that the work had been done. That just meant that something chipped away. Do you know when you harden? It's serious business when God sometimes got to chip away at the pain of your heart. That's why this thing is a process. This is not something that happens overnight. A relationship with God is not something that you jump into and go to the church house and, oh, I need to get on every ministry and I need to be in every person's face and I need to be doing all of this. Running yourself ragged. Burn out. Can you say burn out? No, baby. You want to take that nice and slow. The race is not given to the swift, nor to the strong, but to the ones that endure until the end. That endure until the end, that don't give up because it sounds like it's too hard. I'm talking good stuff. I done talked some of what's in this book. I done talked some of what's in this book. Alright, so we done talked about Saucy. We done told you Saucy said we be too hard sometimes, black ladies. We be too hard. And if you're not a black lady and you too hard, I promise you one thing for sure and two things for certain. You negate yourself if you want to and go holler at God about that in the afterthought. You feel me? Go holler at God about that in the afterthought. Now, I talked about Corey Feldman because he told him he wouldn't have been, probably wouldn't have been Corey Feldman if his mom would have treated him all good like he wanted to. Y'all remember I talked about Madeline and Good Morning Monster and how Gildner said that you can become a narcissist. We be around here digging into the narcissist. We be digging into so narcissistic. You're narcissistic. Nah. And my baby had to slow me down. Even though I wasn't always walking around calling people narcissists. She was like, Mom, be careful about how you calling that word out because that is mental illness. I did not. No. And I had the DSM in there. At that point, I did not know. When she said something, that's when I went into the DSM and found narcissism. It we want to lack compassion because a lot of times when we see the narcissist, especially when we see them on social media, a lot of times they people with money. A lot of times they people with money. But one thing for sure, don't ever get it twisted. A narcissist does not have to have money. He don't gotta have a dime. He don't gotta have a dime. Not one. Not one little red cent. But I said all of that to say Corey Feldman is a narcissist. Woo, buddy. Woo, buddy. He could not stop talking about Corey from the time that he walked in the door to the time that it was over. Oh, yes, and Ocho Cinco's mom did not seek treatment. Because at the end of the show, they let you know the people that worked and the people that didn't. She didn't. She didn't work. She couldn't get along. She said, nobody is more important to her. She said to her son, you're not more important than me. That's deep. Deep. Okay, so y'all, this story is a little old too. But I think that because the Most High blessed me with that DSM, and I say blessed me with that DSM because I didn't purchase it. If anybody knows anything about DSM, those are the books that have all accounts of mental illness in them, mental disease and mental disorders and mental disease. And Lord, I done lost my train of thought. Oh, so I talk about it. I talk about the psyche. That the psyche is your mental. That's why I talk about it, because if we don't deal with it, if your psyche is left unchecked, we think because we ain't went to the doctor. Because a lot of times who wants to just go to the doctor and doctor, do I have this, or do I have schizophrenia? Do I have bipolar? Nobody just wants to take that trip to the doctor. But it is so important to just keep check on your psyche, because it's how you live. It's how you live. So I watched this story on the Dynamic Reason channel. And then I went back and I saw it on Queen Amadiah's station. Excuse me. And Queen Amadiah's part tripped me out because she was like, she had compassion for Jaguar Wright, and the girl came up there because she was defending Jaguar almost to the T, and the girl had to come up there and was like, do you know this, that, and the other about Jaguar? And these was things that she didn't know, and I'm just like, you the journalist, how you ain't know these things? Because some of the stuff she was saying, I knew, and I don't be trying to go and look for or follow Jaguar. I used to watch Jaguar a minute ago. I watched her when she before she went missing, because she was on social media a few years back, and then she went missing, and then she came back. So when she came back, I wasn't really watching her like that. That's when she came back, and all of this drama has been taking place ever since she back. When she was out here the first time, she wasn't really, her name wasn't on them streets like that at that particular point. But she had so much compassion for Jaguar Wright. But when she talked about this story, she called a girl out her name and everything like that. Now, it is highly possible that someone could be faking mental illness to get off as well. This young lady has 6 counts that she is facing. She is facing 1 count of aggravated red rum. I hope y'all watch The Shining. I don't want to be saying aggravated unaliving. 1 count of aggravated red rum. 2 counts of 2 counts of red rum. 2 counts of attempted red rum. 1 count of endangering children. 1 count of tampering with the evidence. I didn't see that it broke down how she was tampering with the evidence. I didn't see that. I didn't hear it on Dynamic Reason. I didn't see it in any article that I read. And I will say this is over. is about a month old, but they were supposed to be, she was supposed to be going back to court on the 17th of June. Now, if that has happened, nothing about it, because I've gone back in to do research to see if there were any updates on the story. Now, let me tell you what happened. So this young lady was at the thrift store, and she decided she was going to take 2 knives out of the thrift store. She takes these 2 knives out of the thrift store, and she walks. She gets up and she comes out of that thrift store, and she walks over there to the Giant Eagle grocery store. And she walks in the Giant Eagle grocery store. At this point, when I saw the video, I only saw one knife, but one article said she had 2 knives. So I don't know what the other knife was. So she's walking with the knives in the grocery store, and ain't nobody seeing her. Or they scared. But I just don't understand how she walked in that grocery store and walked around with that knife like that. And then she put her eyes on the woman and her baby going out to the car. And she turned around and she walked out behind them. The woman went and opened her trunk and began to put her groceries in the car. And as she went to put her groceries in the car, the young lady came up and started on the baby. On the baby. And so the woman turns around and she goes and she's trying to get her baby, and the woman starts on the woman. The woman lived. Mama lived. When the cops found the woman, she was walking down the street wielding the knife. That could be sane. She could be playing that off. Or she could be very, very ill. And there is just a loss for the ill in our society. They either be over-medicated, and I've heard too many stories. I've read I've watched documentaries about the things that some of that medication can do. They got to keep my thyroid medication adjusted. It just makes me feel like whatever, they ill, and if they do anything wrong, you're going to treat them like they're not. Because this woman, she on a $5 million bond. I ain't mad at that. She facing the death penalty. When they took the, what's the word I'm looking for? The paperwork with her charges, they took her with her to jail so she could read it to see if they can understand, because me and cousin had a whole conversation. I said, I think they just want you to read that paper. They don't care if you understand or not, because I do not believe that young lady understood nothing. And then you can't send them to an insane asylum. You send them to jail. Those are two extremes. One really no better than the other, because no help is going to get done. So y'all keep that family in your prayers and your thoughts of that mom that's now having to deal with being without her baby. But I would ask you to also keep that young lady in your prayers and your thoughts, because if she is suffering mental illness, if that is real, like that was real stuff. She was walking around stores with knives in her hand. Who does that? Let's get into this word right quick. Then I got a couple of more things to talk about, and then we're going to be out of here. I ain't got but a little bit. So we're going to go Proverbs 8:34. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my door. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my door. Watching daily at my gate. You like this. You standing. Look, y'all. I used to like to go to school. I don't know how many people could just say that. You know how they be leaving them posts. I bet nobody can say. I like school. I bet nobody else can say that. I don't know. But I did. I liked school. I'm not gonna say I was standing at the door eager to go in, but my aunt didn't have no problem getting me up in the morning. I wasn't that person that had to drag out of bed. I looked forward to going to school because I liked to be there. Once I got to a place where I wasn't getting picked on all the time, like when I was, that was when I first moved from New York, though. When I first moved from New York, I was getting picked on all the time, and so nobody likes to go anywhere. Yeah, it didn't even like that cup. Let me put that right there. Between the daggone rotator and its muscle, I don't know what to do about what. Okay. So it talks about you being eager. Now, me, watching me and being at my gates and my door, that's wisdom. That's Jesus' feminine side. Jesus ain't had no problem walking in his femininity. Wisdom, Mother God. Be eager. Be standing there like, oh, I want some of that. I want wisdom. I want wisdom. I'm ready. I'm ready. You're supposed to be eager to get wisdom and to apply it. Because if you get it and you do nothing with it, it's just knowledge. You just know something. If you're not going to use it, I like to learn it. And when I learn, I like to apply. Now, I just heard somebody say, that's the first time that I heard a Christian say that, because, you know, I've been studying to show thyself approved, and I know where the Most High is leading me, and I know the things that the Christian world has said was so evil, so evil, so evil, and I'm like, well, God, why are you telling me to talk about them if all these people keep always talking about they evil? So I was watching a man that I really respect the other day. We're not supposed to be, an idol becomes anything that you put ahead of God. Anything. Not just another God. Anything. Your money, money and your cars, cars and your clothes, and your hoes. All of that. Your babies, your soap operas. If you can watch all your soap operas, I don't watch soap operas no more. I watched them all my life though. Oh my God, my baby's still watching General Hospital. I've not watched soap operas in some years, but I'm the one that got them to the point where they're still watching it to this time. But anything, anything that you put above God is going to be an idol. Um, excuse me. I'm losing my train of thought a lot tonight. I think I'm tired because it's late. But you are supposed to be loving to catch that wisdom, and you are supposed to want to be wherever wisdom is, because it's always going to be in your face. Y'all know I tell y'all that wisdom and folly hang together. They hang together. You want to always be attentive. You want to be, like I said, eager. You want to be looking for it. You're looking for wisdom. Where can I find it? Where can I get? Gotta give me some of that. Gotta give me some of that. Not one of them. Gotta give me some of that. Gotta give me some of that wisdom. But yes, wisdom is that thing that is going to make you turn every proof. Wisdom is that thing when your heart is pounding at something that you know you're not supposed to be doing. And just like I said, this is a process. Everything ain't always going down that way all the time. But the more that you know, the more that you grow. The more that you spend time where wisdom is, holy wisdom, the things of God, the more that you grow from that wisdom. The more that you seek it, the more that you get it, the more that you apply it, the more that you grow from it. You have to be consistent, vigilant over your spirit and your behavior. That's always going to take me back to Proverbs 25 and 28. A city without walls. It is great to say, I do what I want to do. But that person that do what they want to do, wait till something bad happens. They is hot like fire and asking why God let it happen. But you do what you want to do. How does any of that work? You do what you want to do. When you have no walls, everything, you do what you want to do, but you are open to everything. No protection. No protection. Wisdom said that the Gospels are not only a privilege, it's a privilege. I like to read about. I tell people all the time, Jesus is a G. I say that all the time. It's a privilege. I like to read about Jesus, but it's also a duty as a child of the Most High God. Because how do you get instruction? How do you get wise instruction? And see, God sent me back here to these Old Testaments to talk about Jesus, not to the gospel. So I'm not negating the gospel, but God brought me to the Old Testament. Anybody that ever comes on this live, you're going to see that the things that I speak about from the Bible are going to come from the Old Testament. And if you've never been here before, you're going to see that I also speak from Maccabees and the Quran as well. So it says that you, excuse me, waiting at the post of my door. You want to stay close. If you waiting for something, that Amazon package. If you don't wait for that wisdom better than you wait for that Amazon package, then you and God got a problem. Waiting at the door, stay close. You ain't trying to miss them now. You turn one split second, that shit might be gone. You might miss them, and you don't want to miss wisdom. Nobody wants to miss wisdom. Even the folk that think they do don't. I hope y'all can hear me. Oh, excuse me, that was a tasty treat. It says patience is needed. When you seeking out wisdom, then I say it's a journey. And it says patience is needed. It didn't say it was an option. Because I hear plenty the children of God. I'm not even going to talk about peoples that do not do God. Plenty the children of God. I ain't got no patience. I ain't got no patience. And this will be careful what you ask for, but it says patience is needed to walk this journey of wisdom. So you might want to ask for that. Now, be careful. Be careful. Don't come back and be like, Sylvie told me to ask for patience and I don't like it. Because I'm going to tell you to go holler at the gods. I've been saying this the whole time. The process is gradual. The process is gradual, but you have to be diligent in the process. If you give up, it's just going to be like having to start back at the drawing board. Got to be diligent at it. Even when it feels like you might not even feel like you doing God good. Got to be diligent at it. You have to always be somewhere seeking wisdom. If you are not going into a church building, you should have a Bible somewhere. Because anything that a man can tell you out their mouth, even if you're going in a church building, you should have a Bible somewhere to check back on. Anything a man can tell you out their mouth can come out flawed. And I'm not saying that there's perfection in the Bible. There will be no need for God to say, do not add or subtract. Hence why I read the Apocrypha. And I was doing a little bit of study on that day because, they be like, it's not canonical. And so I'm like, oh, let me go see what canonical is. And then those are the ones that, it was decided that these were the ones that were suitable to be in the book. And then when I went and saw who decided, but okay, Lord, as I study this Old Testament, don't try to knock me. All I do is study the Old Testament and say we're not supposed to be following the Roman Catholic Church. Roman Catholic Church who said that some of the books was canonical and some of the books was not canonical. The Pope said that. Now, I don't even want to call his name. I ain't going to call his name because I love him too much to call his name. But he be talking about. That's the one that got me to studying about the fact that Pope is not biblical. But he talks about the Apocrypha as not being canonical. But it was decided by the Pope. The Pope took the Apocrypha out of the Bible and decided which parts of books could stay in the Bible and stuff. The Pope that runs the Roman Catholic Church that we not supposed to be following anyway. I'm just saying. On to the next one. On to the next. On to the next. On to the next one. What in the Jamaican podcast is going on here? Where's our match? Make the best use of wisdom when you get it. Make the best use of wisdom when you get it. Idleness and slothfulness equals someone who is unteachable. If you is just walking around with too much time on your hands and lazy, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to do nothing. Look, come on now. And that is why, I'm going to read y'all, because I do got a few people in here with some comments, so it's a few people in here. This is what, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, G-Hosh. G-Hosh said, they aren't going to fool me. First, they took out books. And then they started omitting verses. Yeah, verse 11. I forget what book it is. Me and cousin just talked about that one last in the NIV. But I stopped reading the NIV years ago. He said people follow anything they are told. That's why you are supposed to study to show thyself approved. You're not just supposed to be following. Didn't I say last night, them words be smoother than oil, fair speech, and good words. Don't mean it's truth. They just be smooth. Y'all better study, because it won't until I studied that I started finding things and stuff. I didn't know anything. I knew about the Apocrypha when my daughters, I tell you, my oldest daughter is going to be 32 in November. My baby just turned 29 June the 2nd. I knew about the Apocrypha when they were little girls. They weren't even in junior high school. Their grandmother had one. When I finally released enough fear from what I have been taught all of my life to say, okay, I'm going to do this. That grandmama had done threw the book away. I said, woe is me, God. She threw a book away. A holy one at that. Jesus. You couldn't take it to the thrift store or to the library or something. Nobody is supposed to throw holy books away. I don't even like that you throw any book away, but a holy book, yeah, you want to think twice on that the next time. But when I say it kept coming back to me, I won't searching for it, and it kept coming back to me and coming back to me. When something do me like that, you cannot tell me it's not the Most High God. The Most High God, so you know it's real. So nobody don't let me come in here and be like, I don't know what God, she talking about the Most High one, that one. Yeah. Yeah. And I have people that be like, I read it and then I just, God say stick a pin in it. And look, I tried to go out of 1st and 2nd Maccabees because all I do is Maccabees right now. When I tried to come out of 1st and 2nd Maccabees, it was just like when I tried to come out of Proverbs. When I tried to come out of Proverbs and go into Ecclesiastes, God said, go back there. I want you to stick a pin right there where I want you in them Proverbs. I want you in that Torah. I want you in that Apocrypha, and I want you in that Quran. Okay, God. Okay, God. And I'm learning things look different with whoa, whoa. Always come back to center. Always come back to the God. Always. You get the glory, God. Not now, man. Not now, man. Not now, person. Mm-mm. Said we should be hearers to learn, not just to wait to respond to somebody. Hearing to learn. We should be watchers. Our frequency, and this is in order to be attaining wisdom. Our frequency, our perseverance, our self-denial. When I got to this next one, I had to stick a pin there right quick because the next one said our self-abasement. But hold up. Wait a minute. Let me go look it up to make sure. Let me put you down, put you down. You didn't mean put yourself down. Put yourself down. And all I kept saying while I was going to the technical definition, man's definition, because that's why Miss Nadine said, don't go to no man's dictionary to talk to me about God. Ooh. Okay, God, let me go see what the Bible say about self-abasement. Humility. I knew it had to be something, because all I was saying is, that don't fit, God. That don't fit. With frequency, perseverance, self-denial, a certain sense of anxiety. There has to be a sense of urgency. You can't just think that it's okay to sit around and do nothing. You don't gain wisdom that way. No, sir, no, sir. And you have to expect trials, and don't be surprised at the number of them. That is the things that people that you're going to walk out on God is made out of. Well, if God, then why? If God, then why? Because how God going to know who real and who fake? How God going to know who going to stick it out? How you going to get stronger? How? If you can't go through nothing. If you spent everything supposed to make you feel good, supposed to tickle your fancy. No, that ain't how any of that works. You do not depart. Didn't Jacob say, I ain't moving till you bless me? You do not depart until something is given. Now, once you get that given, you best put it to use now. Yeah, this arm don't really want to stretch anymore, guys. You gotta watch me do things like pick up my cup with my right hand, hold it with my left hand, and sip while I'm holding it with both. It's locking up. It's locking up. Now we move on to Genesis 4:23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wondering, and a young man to my hurt. I thought he had slain two men, and then I was like, okay, is that he breaking up two men, one man into two? Like, what is this all about? And I even went, as I started doing the study for it, and was like, okay, Lord, it kind of feel like I might have picked that verse. If I picked that verse, I'm sorry, Lord. You don't want me to do Genesis? Because I picked it, because I tend to believe that God give me these verses. So anytime I feel like I've interfered, I feel like I did something. But every time that I have said that, because I've said it a few times, God go back and show me that, no, I did it. I did it. Now this verse, Lamech is Cain's grandson. Tubal-Cain is Lamech's grandson. Tubal-Cain, I just told my peoples, Tubal-Cain is a name that, I have names, places, people, and things that just stood out to me over the years that God brought back to me in some kind of revelation. Tubal Cain is one of those names. Like anytime that I've read the Bible, over the years, like that name it was just such a funny name, like Tubal Cain. I just think of some of the names that be in there, and I'll be like, oh Lord, they were naming some names back. They were naming some names back there in that Bible, Lord. Um, but Lamech is also the first man to um, practice polygamy. Now, you see that Esau, the study tells you that Esau was punished for it. Now, the Hebrew Israelites, I forget what that verse is, but there's a verse in that Bible that they use to practice polygamy. But when I did my study on Lamech, and even today, it talked about when he was like, "Listen, wise." One of the commentary was like he was talking to him as if he was proud of this polygamy that he wasn't even supposed to be entered into. This is not me taking knocks and stabs at anybody about polygamy because I didn't even know. Well, how could you not if it said he turned around and talked to his two wives? But that wasn't why I went in there. I went in there because of the haughtiness, the haughty soundingness of just the entire statement that he was making. But it did reference the polygamy and how it seemed like he was being boastful when he told his wives to just come listen, because you done went out here slaying somebody. And I'm just like, he was like, because he was like, because the next verse goes on, and I really thought it was a part of this verse, but it goes on to say, like, if God made sure that my granddad was good, then I'm gonna be good 70 times 7. Like, you know, when God sent Cain, when Cain did his brother in, and God punished him, Cain was like, wait, they gonna do me in when I go. That thing throws me for a loop every time. How you gonna be red rumming your brother? You gonna red rum your brother and then go to God and be like, wait, that's too harsh. Wait a minute, God, they gonna do me in. Because I probably would have been like, you probably should have thought about that before you did your brother in. But that's not the kind of God that we serve. We serve a God that even when he said, get on out my presence, I don't probably want to see you no more ever. Look, saints and sinners. Ella had to find out that her son that she gave away, once she started having a relationship with him, that was the son that took your other son out at the whole beginning of the show. He took your baby that you kept away. So once that came out, she was giving every love that she had gained for that second son was about to be out the door. It's about to be out the door because you killed my son. Forget about the fact that you my son now. You killed that son. So yeah, God was like, get out my face, because you didn't even have no reason to do it. And even if you go back to why he did it, he did it because all of it was arrogant. The fact that you went back to God after the fact, but the fact that you even did it, you did it because God, you went and unalived your brother because God wasn't satisfied with your sacrifice. Haughty, self-absorbed, and yet God said, ain't nobody gonna put their hands on you. You my baby. Man, the shrimp. Didn't I say God loves Satan? How would God not love Satan if Satan was up there? Never once when even when I went into the Quran, when they called his name Iblis. Iblis pled his case in the Quran same way Cain did. In the Quran, Iblis pled his case, and God said, I'm gonna give you a little bit. But you're getting out. You just gotta get out my face. So you probably think God don't love Judas. God does not love our wickedness. God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. God created the heavens and the earth. How do you not love what you created? You think you wouldn't love your child if they went out there and created all the crime in the world? No. A good parent is going to ensure that they hold themselves accountable and not just go out there and enable them. That is where my concern would come in when you get to enabling. Not because you love your child, because you think them unsubs on Criminal Minds, they have all of them. Every last unsub on Criminal Minds for every season that it ever came on, even these new ones that be coming on. People love them. Somebody loved Jeffrey Dahmer. Somebody loved themselves some Jeffrey Dahmer. Idi Amin. Adolf Hitler. Come on now. Come on now. What in the Jamaican podcast is going on? Come on now. Let's see, where we at? So they went into different scenarios of whether he was being boastful or whether it was a hypothetical or whether he was asking his wives a question. But they say the general census says that he was being boastful because he was a little haughty. He went out and took 2 wives, even though look, me and my cousin talk about that. I'm never gonna knock anybody if they found a verse that they are using, but what husbands went out there and took 2 wives on their own until you got to Solomon, and did not God punish him because he just got real haughty about all those foreign women, and that was more so because they was foreign women, more so than you went out and you just went out and just went all outside. And God said, I got these women for you. But Abraham did not marry Keturah. We know this. Abraham did not marry Keturah until after Sarah was gone. Jacob did not ask for both of those women. He was tricked. But since he was a swindler, he got what he dished. So, I just felt like it was haughty because he was haughty enough to go out there and take 2 wives, even though it was against the census. So you bragging that my granddaddy did it, so I'm going to do it and I'm good. Now, when I went into the study, it did break it down now. And said, what I'm about to say, because I started reading something, but okay, well, look, because I've been doing that all day. I've been losing stuff all day. I was talking to my cousin about it, so I'm gonna just go here. It says that one of the commentary didn't even go in and talk about limit. Because the first commentary said that it was more than likely from that boastful place. So the second commentary didn't even talk about limit. To me, it spoke about Cain so that you could see the setup of why this could be something haughty that limit did. It spoke about Cain from the time that God had to cast him away and how he moved to the east of Eden, and it was in a place, they called it Nod or Nod, but they said that was more than likely a mythical name based off the historian saying that he moved to the land of flight or something like that. And it was called Nod because of the nature and the character of the place. So it said that there was grief there was mourning, there was flight, there was exile. It was the land of misery and exile. He had been sent away, like God said, I don't want you here no more. So, and the commentary went on to say that even though he had been sent out of God's presence, he had a wife, so that more than likely lightened the load. But then you went out, it said he went out and built the city, he ain't built his character. Cain went out and built a city. Could have been building your character, and then maybe the name of the place wouldn't have been known. Wouldn't have been the land of misery. The land of misery and exile. Sips peppermint tea. Yummy, yummy. Said it went into talking about whether it was one or two people that he killed. Some of the commentaries said it was one. One of the commentaries said it was two. One of the commentaries said that it would potentially um, no. I think I read that wrong. But it said that the one that said it was two, it said that it was potentially Cain that he killed by mistake, unalive by mistake, and his grandson Cain. Now it gives you many scenarios on how that happened. One of the scenarios said that they were in the woods. He thought Cain. He was blind. Uh, Limerick was blind and Cain was blind. So they saw Cain from afar and thought he was a beast. And Tubal Cain told Limerick to shoot the arrow, and he shot the arrow. And when they got up on Cain and saw it was Cain, he turned around and was like, "Why you let me do that? That was Cain." Like, nobody won't put their hands on Cain. But the commentary went on to say that it was in the seventh generation of Abel being gone, so I guess he was safe from putting his hands on Cain because all of that over Cain's head was gone. But yeah, said he took out his son and his granddad and his grandson. But it's saying that it was. Some of it says it was Hardy. Some of it says it was by mistake. I said all of that to say, excuse me, that if it was Hardy, you definitely, you're not hearing wisdom when you're in a Hardy state. That's tantamount to that slothfulness and that idleness. Hardiness can fit in there as well. Now, if he was apologetic and sorrowful, then that can also go to he went to seek wisdom when he went to speak to his wives about it. And saying he could have possibly been speaking to them because he was just trying to basically repent for what had been done. So it brings it from all different scenarios. Lossa. Yep. All right, and then on to the first Maccabees 3:14. He said, "I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with him who despise the king's commandment." Now, Mattathias gone, y'all. Mattathias got gone last chapter. That was the daddy. And in comes Judas. Maccabees, that is. And Judas is less of a joke than his daddy. Because y'all done came in here rambling around in these temples, trying to do away with what the Most High God has set up in here. You want us to do all these evil things that y'all want to be doing in these unsafe temples. And you want us to just submit to y'all. You want us to eat what y'all want us to eat, and I say no. So Saron, that's his name. He said it's Saron. Because that was the first one that came for Judas' name. Saron said, "I'm going to get me a name. I'm going to get famous off this boy." Because he said he saw that Judas had a multitude. Judas had a multitude and many people that followed him. Because he was like, "Look, y'all with me? We going? We about to bounce? Because they foul in Judah? Oh, okay. Let's get it." And so he had his crew. Like, Judas was fighting for a little bit. But this was the first dude that decided he wanted to get him a name. He wanted to be famous. He wanted people pleased for the king. King! He wanted people pleased for the king. And guess what? That didn't work out well for him. That didn't work out well for him because it said Judas took them down. Judas Judas took them down so much to the point that he got the king's attention himself. Yeah, he was like, wait, hold up, holla, holla. What's going on here? Who is it? Who this cat? He ain't me. How he got people bowing down to him like me? Like I just sent this dude down. I know that he ain't sent him. I know this dude. I know he was trying to impress me. Yeah, the Maccabees boys. They ain't play that. They was serious about them things of God. You won't make no name for yourself around here, cause Judas said, cause when they got scared, when they saw that Antiochus, cause Antiochus is who came after Syron. Now, Syron ain't make no name, but the name on his headstone. That's the only name he made, and he didn't even make that one. But then Antiochus was coming. And some of Judas' boys say Antiochus, and they was like, ooh, what we gonna do? Because they got so great a multitude. See, Judas had a multitude. Antiochus had so great a multitude. That's a different kind of multitude. But when you got a faith, like that faith I told y'all yesterday, like Mariko, when that God came to Mariko, you ain't scared. Mariko trial start tomorrow, y'all. That God came to Mariko, say you ain't scared. Why I'm gonna be scared? I have faith in the Most High God. I'm on this side. Yeah. Judas said, God got it. All we gotta do is go and stand, and God gonna handle the rest, and God handled the rest. We can watch God handle a situation and forget that God will handle the rest if we do our part. If we do our part, God will handle the rest. All we gotta do is show up and stand. That's it. That's it. Let's see here. Oh, and I apologize because I didn't never that young lady that I was talking about, the unalived the baby. One of the articles that I read did say that they were trying to make sure that they noted that she had some mental health issues. So there is somebody fighting for her mental health issues, and she did request a lawyer. So that would probably make people be like, was she really not saying if she's requesting lawyers? But I would say maybe. Now, we're gonna talk about this modesty, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Now, I went through and I read Romans 14, verses 13 through 23. And I'm just going to kind of like do an overview because it ain't even much. You don't want to tempt your brother to sin. Simple as that. If your brother is struggling with meat and y'all go out to eat and you are eating a big steak in his face, that makes his struggle harder. How much do you care about your brother? Maybe don't take him out to eat, or maybe say y'all going to get a salad or something like that. You know, when you're on the highway, you have to drive for all of the other drivers. We don't want to do that in the things of God. We don't want to feel like we should have to bear and share others' burdens. But God calls for us to do that on so many different aspects, and so many different aspects. Your clothing. And I said it the other day. Some of the best-hearted people be walking around here half naked, and some of the most evil be walking around here with big feather hats on, collars up to their neck, and dresses down to their feet. And both of those, by the way, are extremes in modest apparel. Come to the middle, lady. Come to the middle, because, and I'll continue to say, nobody has a right to put their hands on you, but you cannot stop people from what they're thinking in their minds. And sometimes what people think in their minds, they act on. And it's hard to prove rape. So we have to think about these things, ladies. I wore this dress outside today, and somebody told me I had on a sexy dress. I got all this makeup on. I thought I did good with the makeup, but it is makeup. Somebody told me I had on a sexy dress, and I was like, well, dang, I really thought this was an old lady dress when I put it on. But I guess because it's a sheer dress, I have on shorts up underneath the dress. I have on shorts up underneath the dress and a sports bra. I would wear shorts and a sports bra to go work out, but I put a dress on top of it. Somebody said it was sexy, okay, and I had to talk with God about that all day. I said, now God, the dress that I didn't put on the other day, the dress that I put on and then took off and said, yeah, no, God, I'm not going to walk down the street in that. That was from my vacation. I'm not going to walk down the street in that because I know what I face when I walk down the street. I promise to me first, to me first, to me first. We just want to think about what we're wearing, and that's also something that's going to be a process. I talked about that last night. If you ain't got nothing but club attire, you ain't got nothing but club attire. But if you go to a church and they have a clothing closet, maybe go down and check out their clothing closet and see if there's a blazer you can put on top of your halter top. You know? Because God's not going to turn you away. Because everything that I looked up as far, when I plugged in modesty to Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, the clothing part of it only comes up in the New Testament. When I plug in modesty, it goes to humility. It goes to humility. If you have a problem with being humble, you have a problem with being God. That's all that I can say about that. And as I was, I said that you got to watch out for the traffic. I'm bringing another boot camp into this because one of the young ladies on the one that I'm watching now, it might be gone by this time since I've been in here on live. Amber, she's also from Teen Mom. When she walked into a room, because their rooms are set up like the trauma that they have in their relationships. So when she walked into her room, she was like, you do not put an addict in a tempting place. But the therapist had to know what they were doing because I can't imagine that her room was changed. But that is, you don't take the crackhead to the crack house and put all the crack in front of them because they said they don't smoke crack no more and say, okay, let's test this theory. We have to start thinking about that. And man, oh man, modesty is not just for the woman. All right. Now, we have talked about Saucy Santana saying that we are sometimes walking too much in our masculinity. We have talked about Ocho Cinco's mom in reference to that. Corey Feldman. We talked about the young lady that that baby and his mama. Lussel. We talked about them few little examples from boot camp, and then we talked about this modesty. So I thank y'all for sitting with me for a spell. Right quick. Cause last night, I was on a roll. And I'm going to cut up what I was able to cut up for that part. But it was, I had two questions for Vice President Harris. One of them was what streets you in, because we don't be seeing you. And the other one I couldn't think of. When I tell you it was supposed to roll so smoothly into it. And I couldn't think of it, and it was in that phone. Because I didn't write it down in this book. But, Madam VP, has what can be been unburdened by what has been yet? I just want to know. With that being said, hello, beautiful. Please know, effed up parents, fucked up parents, that's what effed up means. They can also love you. They really can. The most nefarious, that's in my Queen Amadaya voice, the most nefarious person warrants compassion. The most nefarious person. Satan devil ain't always Satan, baby. You better know it. Sylvie loves you, and I am out. Spin real. Um, y'all see all I gotta go through to get over there to the phone? It's gonna get better. To get over there to the phone just to cut off the live.